Hello, this is part 3 of my little series on emotions. And I said that when you become emotional over something, you literally are feeding yourself to it. You are giving your life to it. Your emotional reaction draws up energy, which bubbles out. And you are literally feeding yourself to whatever it is that's causing you to become emotional. And that's why it's not good to be emotional. We shouldn't be emotional at all. The spiritual person, or the person on the spiritual path, is not emotional. Even on the most basic down-to-earth, mundane, common sense level, not even talking about spirituality, we all know that as we get older, we're supposed to be mature, and part of maturing is to be calmer, less reactive, less emotional, less upset. A calm person. Remember when you were a little child, maybe you had a good grandma or grandpa, or a nice aunt or uncle. You remember you loved them because they were calm and patient. Well, that's what we're supposed to become, calmer as we get older, more reasonable, more rational. See? Well, the same thing is true spiritually, and more so. So, before I go any farther or any further, I want to say that I often talk about becoming upset, becoming angry, resentful, hurt feelings. I talk about trauma, being shocked and hurt, upset, rejected. I talk about negative emotions. But I want you to understand that any emotion at all is not a good thing. You're swooning over music, or getting excited at music, or feeling sorry for someone, or feeling all kinds of emotions over some poetry, or some art, feeling sorry for and pity for and identifying with and giving yourself emotionally to people. Okay? Those are all giving yourself. Those are literally giving your life. Emotional people, whether they're swooning over music, getting excited at music, whether they're yelling and screaming at a ball game, or jumping up and down and screaming at some dance or concert, or whether they're swooning over some poem or some tender feeling. All of these emotions are you are literally giving your life. It's the idea of sacrifice. See? Christ said we should lay down the earthly life and pick up the spiritual life. He said, he who finds his life will lose it, and he who loses his life for my sake will find it. See? Paul said that he exhorted us in his letter to the Romans to offer our bodies as a living sacrifice to God. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's talk about it. So can you understand now that you give up your life? Think of every emotion, whether it's a little tender feeling for feeling sorry for someone, or whether it's getting angry, or whether it's getting a little bit irritable, a little bit upset. See? Every emotion is basically an indulgence. You indulge your emotion for what value it may have for your ego, but you're throwing away a little bit of your life, a little bit of your life force. See? So our emotions ought to be reserved for our Creator. Man was created to worship God, to stand in awe of his great creation. See, all around you. You look all around you. Open up your window. Look at the beautiful plants and the flowers. Blue sky. Hear the birds singing. It's a mighty creation. At night, look at the stars. It's just, everything is marvelous. The smallest thing, a little bug, beautiful little beetle crawling. It's the most marvelous, it's the most intricate little thing. Okay? Everything from, no matter how much you magnify something, it gets more and more amazing. A snowflake. You look at the snow falling, it's beautiful, it's wonderful. You look at a snowflake, it's unbelievably beautiful design. So, what I'm saying is, by marveling at God's creation, we're worshiping the Creator, the artist, the craftsman who made it, the genius, the designer. When we stand in awe and wonder of everything, we're honoring the Creator. So what would we feel then? Awe, wonder. See? And love for the Creator. When you learn more, even when you learn of his, not only of his fantastic creation, when you experience his mercy, his patience, his forgiveness, his grace, you learn to love him. The more you know him, the more you admire and love him. So there would be your emotions: awe, wonder, love, see, and joy, and thankfulness, and so on. Beautiful emotions. And then when you realize things in his marvelous light, see, he gives humans an awareness. An awareness. He doesn't give animals awareness, he gives humans awareness. So you can see, you can intuit without words. In a lightning flash, you can understand something so profound you can't even put words to it. Okay? So, but then when you realize things, then you feel what? Joy, a mild excitement. And after a good day's work, see, a job well done, useful work, then you feel a little satisfaction. Not too much, a little bit. See? So all of these wonderful feelings are reserved for our Creator, and a thankfulness for God for giving you work, for giving you life, for the marvels that he's created. So that's where our emotions should be. So any other emotions, see, worshiping the creation, worshiping another person, see, you see the problem with that? It's misplaced. Our worship should be the Creator, for the Creator of the person. So, our spare emotions. So the other thing is, the human being was meant to grow in God's image. It's one way of putting it. In God's image. We're created in the image and likeness of God. So as you draw near to him and you look to him as your Father, see, and wish to please him, and you learn of his, see, of his kindness and his mercy and his long-suffering and his patience and his wisdom, and you partake of them inasmuch as you realize them. You realize them, you experience them, you experience his love. Then you grow, see? You grow as a creature from God, who loves God, supported, but you look to him for support, for assurance and reassurance. And he provides them for you at opportunities to grow in character, See? Endlessly. A process of perfecting. But when you instead your responses are not to your Father within, but when your responses are to the world. See? Because of what you think the world can do for you, what it can do for your ego. Then you grow in its image. So it plants something of itself in you, and you begin to grow in its image. But in exchange for the image it gives you of yourself, in exchange for the excitement that it provides for you, the pleasures, the naughtiness, the pride food that it provides for you, see, to build you up. Or even when it tears you down, or is cruel to you, or tells lies about you, even then, it's still serving your ego, because you can puff up in judgment and hatred of it, see? So it's still serving your pride. But your pride is not even your pride, it's in the image of it, from the world. It's making you into a prideful thing. But you have to pay the piper. The piper must be paid. There's no free lunch. So how do you pay it? With your life. Your life. Because of your emotional reactions, love and hate. See? You give it your life. It takes your life. It needs your life. It craves your life. And so it serves up exotic cruelties and pleasures, see, and teases and taunts to excite you with love and hate offerings, see, which you go for, and then you give up your life with your emotions. So people people learn to live off you. You give yourself to them. So as you go around, so they've trained you. You've been trained your whole life to give yourself to others. See? They demand. You resent the demand, but then you give in. Maybe to make up for the guilt for resenting them. You don't know how to say no. You become conditioned to give. Give. Till there's no more to give. Then at the end they demand your life. See? So it's a sacrifice. So how much better would it be, instead of sacrificing your life to those who serve your illusion of pride, how much better it would be to learn to stand back from those and no longer give yourself. See? No longer give your life force away, but instead look to your Creator instead. And the sacrifice that He has in mind, it's brilliant. See? He doesn't demand your life like those on the outside do. Take your life. Not to mention your money, your time, your everything. They want everything, and they're never satisfied. You can look at this from the most sophisticated to the crudest level. Look carefully and you see they take and take, and they're never satisfied. They want to eat and ingest and imbibe you, especially through your emotions. But they'll settle for your money, see? But sometimes they demand your life. So you must learn to stop. So you must learn to stop reacting. Stop giving yourself to others. See? Not only that, but you react to every little thing. Oh my God, this, and oh that, and look at this bill, and oh no, what's this and that, and you react to everything. And your life comes, and where does it go? It probably just goes off into the atmosphere. Nobody's there to take it. You're still giving up your life. So, instead, seal yourself off. Learn to meditate properly with my little meditation. Become more self-contained. Stop giving yourself. Stop giving stray feelings. And instead, now here's the wonderfulness of it. God, the sacrifice for Him is is to sacrifice the little high you get from judging other people. To give up. See, like the Catholics, they give something up for Lent, right? They give up chocolate for Lent, or give up eating pie for Lent, or something like that, right? Well, with the help of the meditation, you'll just naturally be sealed off. You'll just naturally see what's not quite right about giving all your emotions away. You'll just naturally see it. So you won't feel like you're sacrificing, but you are. By turning to God and looking to Him, you stop looking for the little high that you get from judging another person or resenting them, the little high from seeing them make a mistake, the little high from feeling superior to them. See? The kicks you get from building someone up or knocking someone down or fooling them a little bit, or see, you give all that up. And you begin to moderate your practices, and you'll find that in the past you ate to console yourself. Love for your ego, for your fallen ego, for your bereft, empty ego, empty because of resenting. And in your emptiness, food was a substitute love. See, and drink and alcohol and marijuana. See. So now you'll be able to naturally give them up. It's a sacrifice, but it won't feel like a sacrifice. You just naturally give them up. But it is a sacrifice. See? And then yourself, who you always thought the purpose of your body was to give you pleasure, or to get excitement from seeing things and hearing things. Now, you don't feel fused to your body anymore. You're in your body, and you have your body to get you from point A to point B, and to see things and hear things, but you don't use it anymore. See, you'll start to not use it to serve your ego. You'll eat because you're hungry. You'll drink a little water or something because you're thirsty, but not to get excitement, not to get pleasure out of it. If it has a modest pleasure, mild pleasure that God designed, then that's okay. But the little extra ego thing that you get out of it, see? And you'll learn to stop serving yourself to other people. You always have to feel you have to do more and more and more. You have to give more, entertain more, do more, help more, be more. See, you'll see that you're not helping them. You're becoming an enabler. They're taking advantage. You're not doing them good, and you're harming yourself. Seeing that, you'll just cease and desist from it. You'll learn to be, instead of clinging to other people or always doing for them, you'll learn to be with people like two flowers growing side by side, both dependent upon the sun. See? Instead of clinging and feeding off of them, and they feeding off of you. Okay? Well, I hope you enjoyed this little lecture, and I emphasize again the importance of the meditation and the importance of just beginning to go out in the world and just observe how reactive you are, and how you give yourself to everything and everyone. And stop doing that. But you'll be able to with the help of the meditation. There won't be any effort. See, some people, they resent other people, and they try to hold themselves off with tension and anger. And see, but you see how even the tension that you have to hold them off or to resent them, even that tension is an energy that you're giving up, and which they can feed off of. See, so learn the art of the simple meditation. See. And save your energy. Get closer to God. See, not so close to other people. You can still be friendly, be a mom, dad, husband, wife, so on. But just not so close. And not giving your life to them. There's a difference between just talking to someone or doing something for someone. There's a difference between that and giving a little bit of giving something of yourself. Giving your life to them. You have to stop doing that. My name is Rowan.